Hello, how's it going? Good, great, fantastic. And this is a follow-up video to my previous video of Autism Awareness. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about coping strategies. A Mustafa Kuli, great username by the way, wanted to know what coping strategies I could advise for individuals with autism. And of course, when we're talking about coping strategies, it could be different things. It could be just general coping to kind of lessen anxiety, or coping strategies when out in public, because that can be scary, or coping strategies with changes to routine. So there is various areas to kind of cover here. So I don't know what your specific what your specific target was for. Was it just general? I'm gonna assume it's just general coping strategies. And first off the bat, always the most important thing is communication. And first of all, on your part, make sure you communicate clearly with lots of visual aids as guidance, as good forms of communication as well. So for example, if you're going out, or if you're transitioning from one room to another, or you're transitioning from one project to another, clear indication using one of the best coping strategies that I used to use with dealing with just changes to routine, or moving on to the next routine, more importantly, is the first, next, then method. So what you do is, again, it's all very visual, because visual, pictures and things like that. Well, I'm so fucking drugged up that I can barely speak. But visual communication tools are just as effective as verbal, if not more effective. Because for some people, they may not understand what you're saying. They may just pick up on one or two key words. But when you give them a visual representation of what their plan is, they respond to that. They appear to respond to that a lot better. Now, again, when I talk about these, I tend to talk more about lower functioning individuals as opposed to higher functioning individuals who may cope a lot better. Well, I say that, a lot of them do struggle with changes a lot more, but at least you can explain things to them a lot easier. So what I will do is, so for example, I'll take this from, let's take this from a day center or school perspective. A lot of people with autism now tend to go more into schooling and then housing as opposed to day centers. So even from a school's perspective, you're going to say, okay, Damien, now we've got this little picture thing. Okay, first we're going to do maths, then we're going to have a 10-minute break, then we're going to go and do geography, for example. So first, next, then. So first maths, then advert break, then break, next geography. Okay, and every time this thing is finished, you move it along, or you can put now, then, after. So you can move these pictures along. So you can say, okay, right. So this is finished now. Say maths is finished. So we'll take maths off the board and put it away, and then move it to, and then move break to now. So now we're on break. Then we've got geography. Then it's lunch. Okay, so good, clear visual communication is probably the best method in helping them cope with any situation. Any situation. If you're going out, even if you think, because it allows them a general plan of the day when they first arrive, or when they first wake up, even if they're at home relaxing, a good plan of the day, discussing your general day, what it's going to be. Because the more planned their day is, the less likely they are to have meltdowns or become anxious or distressed. So it's all about visual. Of course, one of the key things children are taught in school these days is a picture exchange communication system, which helps them to communicate better, because a lot of them could be non-verbal, and using the picture exchange communication system has also shown eventually for non-verbal individuals to start verbalizing their wants and their needs. So that's that. Another coping strategy is, of course, to make sure that if you do go out, or if you're in an unfamiliar environment, or even if you're in a familiar environment but they're prone to becoming distressed or anxious, make sure you have things of interest at hand. So we always advise, if they have a bag that they come to school with or the day center with, or that, you know, they're going to be at our day center, they're not going out too much or whatever, is we'll have a box of stuff that they find interesting. So it could be sensory toys, you know, things they like to ruffle, bits of paper they might want to tear up. It could be just good old-fashioned YouTube or Netflix at hand. Like, so at day center, because we don't have Netflix, but I used my account to kind of put on Disney cartoons or documentaries. Some of them like to watch documentaries. It helps keep them calm and relaxed. If you're going out, make sure you have like a book they enjoy. If you have a phone, you know they like watching things, it's good to kind of keep your phone on hand, or the parents buy them a tablet with a lot of cartoons or programs that they like to watch, so that they can have it there to kind of help pull focus away from their environment onto there. If they're sensitive to noise, ear guards are always a good coping strategy with big noisy environments. I'd say ear guards are one of the best things you can use. Of course, if they refuse to put them on, then, you know, just make sure where you're going is either not too noisy or has a good place for them to escape to that is quiet. So a familiar area with a familiar place or environment where they can go to kind of calm and relax. Maybe board the bus, you know. The bus is probably the number one kind of method we use. That if they're distressed, we say, okay, come and sit on the bus. It's okay, it's fine, relax, and all this kind of thing. So yeah, I would say those are the kind of best coping strategies, is especially using picture exchange communication systems or just symbol cards in general, because then they can show you what they want to avoid escalation. So they can say, okay, bus, I want to go back on the bus, or I want to go toilet, or I want them to leave this place, you know, kind of thing. They might get up and go. And instead of forcing them to stay, just go with them and then give them time and then bring them back in. That's one of the methods I'd say. If they want to get up and leave, if they've done 5-10 minutes in a session, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a huge step for our guys, you know. And if they want to leave, fuck it, let them leave. It's absolutely fine, you know. They're adults, you do have to respect them. With children, I don't know how it works. I think it's similar with children as well. You just do what you can with them, and then just, you know, give them regular breaks as well. I can always recommend regular breaks for them to kind of lower anxiety and to not overload their brain. You know, people with autism, you can have an hour-long session, but what I found has worked most is, you know, a half an hour session, and then just the rest of it, just let them relax and calm down. And they find they remember a lot more that way, and less likely to kind of become distressed. So that's it on coping strategies. If you want any other information in dealing with certain in particular behaviors, except for OCD, do not ask me about that. I have no idea. I racked my fucking brain trying to figure things like that out, and that was a dead end for me. But anything else you'd like to know, please let me know down below. And that is all. Let normality resume.